Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Journey. In today's video, I want to be looking at a lot of things that AFK Journey really got right, and unfortunately things where I feel like it's taking incredibly too much time, which is going to be the reason why taking a little bit of a step back from AFK Journey right now, just because of the overall commitment, the time, playing multiple games, summer coming up and everything else with the family, that we're going to be taking a step back from the game. But I do want to run through a couple different things that I love about this game that really make it very well worth it. Now, number one, guys, being the AFK stages. So I like, in a very similar to AFK Arena, where they broke the AFK rewards, the AFK stages, kind of into their own system, where in AFK Arena, you kind of get everything for free just by regular progression in the campaign, which isn't the case here. So I definitely like how they built this, how they did this, and it is really, really to note. This is the way that a system needs to be built, and this is the way that a system really does need to be incorporated into a lot of different games. Now, looking at the Dream Realm, this is how, again, bosses need to be done. When you start looking at the guild aspect, when you start looking at the overall boss aspect, this is how it needs to be done on an individual basis. And again, going back to AFK Arena, looking at Riz, looking at Soren, even looking at some of the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor bosses, they could do it a lot better, and they could do it very, very clean like this. Now, of course, in some of the other games, the formations are not as variant. And of course, depending on the hero makeup, you could change it up a little bit. But I do love how they did the bosses within this game. Now, when it comes to the arena, I am one that is never PvP heavy. The arena, again, I think there's a lot of strategy that kind of comes with it, but this is a part that I feel like I really missed. As you can see right here in the weekly challenges, we haven't been doing a lot with the arena. And of course, this is a big part that I've been missing just because of time. Supreme Arena is the exact same thing. It seems like I've just been kind of turned off with that. I did it every now and then, just kind of on auto repeat. It was very easy. Now, Dur's Trial, this is another one that I feel like is another way to buff up your heroes, but very similar to what we see with the climb of the tower, things like that. It just seems like it's churning out a very similar game mode, which is very, very dependent on the RNG factor that we have in here, which again, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of farming on a consistent basis to go through here to really make a lot of progression with these exclusive charms. And really, if you don't have them, you're going to be lacking when it comes to damage, when it comes to a lot of content, you're going to be lacking in its entirety. Now, of course, tower climb, this is something that I do like. The Legends Trial, always fun to go in there and climb towers, again, similar to AFK Arena. Now, when it comes to the Honor Duel, this, in my opinion, even though the rewards in here are pretty decent, the time aspect of this, even to go in here and play it and to play it competitively, this is a massive, massive time sink. It is a game mode very similar to the PvP aspect that I'm not a huge fan of. And the Arcane Labyrinth is the exact same thing. I think in the Arcane Labyrinth, I'm only like 6 floors, maybe 8 floors, 13 floors, so difficulty 13 in here. Again, this is something that I feel like for the amount of time and effort that it takes for you to do the Arcane Labyrinth, it is an incredible amount of really going in here and getting this done. And again, the time aspect to play this game, to be competitive in this game, is really what is taking a step back and really made the decision, honestly, because I haven't really been playing that much in the last 2 days. And overall, again, I feel like the effectiveness of the game is not there. Now, when it comes to the battle drills, this is by far the number one, probably best place that I do love AFK Journey. It is such a very, very awesome way that they did guilds. The ability to really bring the entire team and the guild together for a common cause. And of course, this also ties in a massive, massive amount of strategy that comes within this game mode. There is, again, kind of so much content in here that you have to strategize, that you have to plan, that you have to come in here and strategically go through and really build it out. This in itself is a game within a game almost, because it's almost, to me, like a almost similar to like a tower defense, where you have to have the teams to fight the bosses depending on how many players are in the guild, how many players are active, going through here, making the difference. And I feel like, again, I'm dragging the team down a little bit. And I know after talking to D2, it was kind of the same. He had to remind me to go in there and actually do my attacks. And it is something that, unfortunately, again, the time aspect coming in here, making sure that I'm logging on every day and then not just getting stuck for a year for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours trying to catch up on things. Very, very amazing way that they did the battle drills. I think, again, it is probably one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen. Now, of course, looking here, we give some high fives We get some guild treasures out of here. Boom, we'll go ahead and open this up. Now, one thing that I feel like, again, some of the misses that I'm seeing in here, one of the really big things is when it comes to the ability to build some of the heroes, specifically the Celestials and the Hypo heroes. Now, most of you know that we have played this since release, so we have actually played this game for a considerable amount of time. Even right here, guys, these are sold out. We have about 11,000 diamonds in here. Looking in the arena store, we're building them out, but even the recruitment store, getting the ability to get these stellar crystals has just, in my opinion, been kind of ridiculous, because if you're not buying them for actual money, there's not a way to really earn them. And even if you do have a chance to earn them, it is at such a very, very reduced rate to be able to actually build them up. Is when you look in here, so the entirety of playing through all essentially of the regular game, playing through as much as we did with the first season, we have pulled one copy of Vernier. That is right, only one copy in its entirety. And even as we sit today, unfortunately, he is at the point where we are at Legendary Plus. Even getting one more is, of course, going to boost him up to Mythic, and then we need more for Mythic Plus, and then Supreme. So again, if you're not going in here, and even through regular gameplay, I felt like for a while we were playing this every day, and we were time sinking a lot of time into this every single day. But when you start looking at the breakdown of, you know, of the friends list and the things that you get out of here, but looking at some of the events, looking even at some of the quests, there's not a ton that you get out of here that is not kind of outside of the normal grind, is what I've kind of seen. Because of course the guild quest, the growth path, all of those, it's just been somewhat of a really, really tedious grind to me. Then of course there's a lot of different activities, just giving you a couple summons. But again, overall, it seems like clan reputation was pretty good. Did give a little bit of loot. I completed some of these. Then of course the heroes, all heroes available. We've been picking these up kind of little by little with the heroes themselves, which I'm almost at 84 right here to possibly get a random hero, which could be a copy that we need. Then of course the Primal Lord. Now again, when it comes to bosses, when it comes to global bosses, they have done this so incredibly correct. This again is probably one of my absolute favorite game modes. The Primal Lord in here, and having the ability to go in with an entire server or an entire district is amazing. I love the build of these bosses, the design, the layout. It is such an incredible way that they did this. Now, of course, when we start looking at the campaign, when we start looking essentially the adventure, when we look at the overview, this is one of the big things that really turned me off when it came to Dragonair, which was the open world exploration where you'd run around, you'd pick up things. I know a lot of players that absolutely love it. I know a lot that have completely hated it. Even looking at the new adventures, we are just kind of waiting. We have some side quests up, but a lot of players have been kind of stalled out because we haven't seen a lot of the content that is coming out with the new adventure. And unfortunately, that again, the storyline kind of stopped at a point. There's a couple little side stories and stuff. And even going through here, we've gotten to the point where we cleaned up pretty much everything that we have in the game. I know there's a couple more chests kind of here and there for some of the zones, but overall, it's something that I'm not going to be continuing with right now, which means we also do have to look at the guild aspect, because I know D2 went on to some better opportunities, really went out there. So looking at a few other players here, and a lot of the effectiveness or the activeness you can see has really dropped off. We have seen a lot of players, unfortunately, that have left AFK Journey. Again, some of them are still kind of active. And I know a few like Jaffa that was in there, and I'm not even sure if, again, if a couple other players, we've seen a couple people, again, active players that have kind of left the guild, that have stepped back. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this to Jaffa. We're going to transfer the leadership and that type confirm. And I know he's been watching AFK Arena, came to AFK Journey. He is active in here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to transfer that over to Jaffa, because again, looking at the players in here that they've been playing, I'm really holding the guild back overall, which is the reason, again, the time constraints, everything else, I do have to take a step back. So I am going to leave the guild at this point. So it's kind of unfortunate, because we are going to go ahead and exit. You'll need to wait 30 minutes before you join a new one. And that's it, guys. We are out of the guild functionality right now. And I might be, you never know, in future updates, we'll come back, we'll visit it, we'll look at some more AFK Journey. But again, at this point, we're kind of taking a step back from it. And this is going to conclude it for the journey where it ends here. AFK Arena content, still where my heart is and where I do love and enjoy playing there every day. But again, this game got a lot more tedious than I thought. We stuck in it for a couple months. But guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.